subpoenaing records from third parties is another way to discover information about one's estate.
Okay.
Okay. And on the note of retirement, oftentimes when you subpoena retirement records, you find out that a spouse might have had retirement, for instance, before marriage as well as after marriage. And we call that account maybe a mixed account. It's got mixed character. Some of that retirement money might be separate,
Solely, yeah.
and some may be community. So
Okay.
again, the discovery process helps to figure out how much of it is separate and how much of it is the community estate.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. And so did you have any examples, any specifics you wanted to go into?
Sure. So typically what happens is one spouse might have a pension plan, for instance, before they were married. Let's say a person had been working at a company for 11 years. And the latter part of those 11 years, let's say it was the wife, and the wife married. And so for 2 of those 11 years, she was married. And she was working and accruing retirement benefits. So we're going to say that of those 11 years, 2/11, that's a fraction, 2 over 11, is the community estates portion. And then the other 9/11 is the separate portion, solely owned by the wife. And so when it's time to get a divorce, if they've only been married 2 years and wife has worked at this company for 11 years, then that 2/11, whatever that comes out to be after you divide it, that's the community portion, and the court can divide that fraction between the husband and the wife.
But they're not going to go after the entire 11.
They cannot go after the entire 11 because we know the court only divides community property and cannot take away a spouse's separate property. I want to address the fact that just because property might be the separate property of a spouse, it doesn't mean that the community estate or that spouse who doesn't own that property can't have a share. We talked about this thing called a reimbursement claim. Essentially, what the court can do is put a judgment against the other spouse's separate property to make up for what they own the spouse who doesn't own that separate property. So there is relief available if the other spouse's separate property has increased in value from improvements, or maybe the husband and wife paid down the debt of a spouse and the debt was incurred before they even got married. There is relief. The court can use equitable means like a judgment to equalize things.
And that's in Texas. That's not necessarily the same everywhere, but it is in Texas.
You make a good point. Oftentimes people come to me and they say, I read on the internet that this or that is true. We have to be very careful that
Right.
divorce laws are domestic laws and they differ with each state. Each
Right.
state has its own family laws. And so be very careful of what you're reading on the internet. My website has great information that's going to be pertinent to a divorce case in Texas.